Now let's look at, for our first assignment, we're going to be using the dial mode up top here. I am really asking you to concentrate on the dial modes that go from the auto the whole way over here to the nighttime landscape picture. The reason I'm asking you to do that is when we get more advanced, like in the next couple weeks, we'll be going to the M, the A, the S, and the P, which is manual, aperture setting, shutter setting, and program. But they take a little bit more understanding of what aperture is and what shutter is, and we're not right there yet, but we will be. So right now, let's talk about the auto setting. The auto setting is pretty much like a point and shoot camera. It's going to enable you to go out and just take the pictures, compose the pictures the way you want to compose them. If you see this next one here, if I turn it up, it looks like a no smoking sign, except or like a lightning bolt with a no smoking sign in it. That basically will stop the flash from going off. It's like having it in auto, but the flash won't pop up. Right here is where you'd find the flash. And I see sometimes people trying to press down on that when they're taking the picture and they don't want to flash, but that can actually damage the mechanism inside. So you don't want to do that. You just want to go to the no flash symbol. There is another one where we have a lady with a hat on. That's your portrait setting, and what that does is affect your depth of field so that you have a shallow depth of field. What you have in focus will stay in focus, but maybe the tree branch or whatever behind them will be out of focus. It'll be a shallow depth of field, and if this term doesn't mean a lot to you now, we'll talk about it, and hopefully within the next couple weeks it'll be much clearer. The next one is the landscape mode. It looks like a mountain. And what that will do is that gives you a very large depth of field. A lot of things will be in focus. So if I'm going outside and I'm photographing my friend that is 3 feet away from me, but the parking lot is behind them, we could have all the cars also be in focus. That would be a large depth of field. If I turn this to the small child mode, the small child mode, or the child mode is what it's called, basically will give you a little bit more brilliant colors, and it's actually for taking pictures of kids. And because kids don't hold still when they're getting their photograph taken, it has a little bit faster shutter speed than what the portrait mode would. So just in case they bolt on you, you probably will be able to get their photograph. The next mode is the action mode. It is actually a runner, and the runner signifies that it's a sports setting. And so on that sports setting, it has a very fast shutter speed so that it can actually catch someone running in mid-stride. If it's a soccer ball flying through the air, the soccer ball will be clear. The volleyball will be clear if it's being spiked. If you're doing sports, you want to set it up for the sports mode. There is one that looks like a tulip, and that tulip is your macro mode. It allows you to get up close to images. Maybe it is a bumblebee on a flower, and you want to get that picture. You still want to be approximately maybe 18 inches away, but it'll work. And my very last one is the nighttime portrait mode, and what will happen there is the portrait will, as you're taking the picture, at the very last moment, a flash will go off so that it lights up the front of the image in a darkened situation, like maybe if we're doing campfire, people sitting around the campfire, that sort of thing. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. I have one last thing that I want to bring to your attention, and that is over here on the side of the lens. Here on the side of the lens, you'll see that there's an A and there's an M. You want to make sure that the lever is pressed up to the A. That's autofocus. Autofocus means that when I press down on the shutter release, if I press it halfway down, will focus on whatever is in the center of my lens. If I hold this up to my eye and I'm looking through, and there you can see the flash popped up, but if I'm looking through there, and even though I'm holding halfway down, it seems to still be out of focus, that is because maybe the last person who used this camera had a different eyesight than I do with my glasses. To adjust for different people's eyesight, there's a little dial here right beside the viewfinder called your Doppler effect, or Doppler adjustment. And you're going to adjust this dial one way or another so that it focuses for your eyes. So you can set that up for your setting, and so then when we put the camera away and you get another camera tomorrow, you might have to adjust the Doppler setting again. So you just want to know that I can adjust it for different settings or different eyesights. All right. That pretty well covers it. When I'm out to take a picture, I just said it briefly, you press halfway down on the shutter release, which is this silver button. You press halfway down on it, and that will allow it to focus. You then keep your body steady, and you keep pressing down, and now press the whole way down to take the picture. If you would let up, and let's say someone walked in front of your lens, as you press down again, it would focus on that person instead of the object that you were setting. So once I press halfway down, it will focus on what's in the center of my lens, and now I continue pressing down to take the picture. Hopefully this is clear to you. If you notice, when I'm holding my camera, I have the strap around my hand, I have my elbow into my chest, and that is how I'm going to be taking the picture, photographing this way. Okay? Always keep the strap around your hand. Very good. Thank you.